In a quiet village, nestled beneath the shadow of a towering mountain, there lived an old man named Arun. Every day, the villagers would see him walking toward the mountain path at dawn, carrying nothing but a wooden flute and a satchel of rice. He would return only at sunset, tired but smiling. Children often asked, "What do you do on the mountain all day?" Arun would chuckle softly and say, "I listen to it." The villagers laughed. "The mountain has no voice, old man. You're chasing the wind." But Arun believed otherwise. Many years ago, when he was a young soldier filled with pride and fury, he had stumbled upon the mountain after a lost battle. Wounded and desperate, he had collapsed in its shade, ready to surrender to death. But as he lay still, he heard something. Not quite words, but not mere wind either. A rhythm, a breath, a stillness that soothed his rage. It didn't save his life in a miraculous way. No angels came, no magic occurred, but the silence wrapped around him like a warm blanket. In that stillness, something cracked open, and healing began. He never picked up a weapon again. Years passed. He returned to the village and became a carpenter, then a teacher. Yet every day he returned to the mountain, listening with his heart more than his ears. His flute became his companion, and he played not to entertain, but to echo what he heard. The sound of peace, of patience, of things growing slowly but surely. One day, a terrible drought struck. Crops failed, tempers flared. People fought over water, over land, even over blame. The village began to unravel. It was then that Arun stood in the village square with his flute in hand. "Come with me," he said, "to the mountain." A few scoffed, but many, desperate for hope, followed. They climbed in silence, unsure of what to expect. At the summit, Arun said nothing. He sat, closed his eyes, and played. The notes floated like mist, gentle, slow, persistent. The villagers closed their eyes too, and in that silence, in that stillness, something shifted. They heard it. Not the music, not the mountain, but themselves. Their breath, their heartbeat, their sorrow, their longing. And for the first time in weeks, they didn't feel alone. The mountain hadn't changed. They had. When they returned, the village was still dry, but something else took root. People began sharing more, arguing less. They laughed again. They sang. They planted seeds even without certainty. And every dawn, a few more would follow Arun to the mountain. Not to find answers, but to remember the question, what do you hear when you truly listen?